Welcome to another episode on our channel. You know me, I can't leave something alone if I'm not completely happy with it. And I wasn't completely happy with the horse part. It was completely black, and to me, it looked a little too flat. But we wanted to show you what you could do if you had a horse lying around that you weren't using, and you had a human figure lying around that you weren't using. So this is a Mark's horse. And altogether, I know this cost me less than $100 to put together, probably less than $90, if not $85 to put together, because I got the horse, with broken ears and that sort of thing. So it was cheap, even when you factor in that shipping and handling can be quite expensive these days. So probably at most I spent $30 for it, but I'm pretty sure it was around $25. I really, got a good deal on it because it was broken. I fixed it. I made a Appaloosa out of it. And then, but I have one too many horses. I have another horse that I'm not using. And it just struck me the other day to make a Centaur. And I was looking at Centaurs on the internet, and I saw that they have Centauresses as female centaurs, and I decided to do a female centaur because I had not a TB League body. It's basically a generic body that is smaller than TB League and doesn't have the same amount of presence as TB League. And I didn't know what to use her for, but her legs come off. And she is seamless from the neck on down. Her arms are jointed. That's why they're covered. But I thought she would make a wonderful candidate for a Centauress. And so I decided to use her in that way. The armor I had lying around. But, when I kind of do the mental calculations for what I spent for these things at the time that I purchased them, this being probably the most recent thing, it's like $90 or below, could be even $85 or below. But it's not $500 and above. And if you look right now on eBay or some of these other places, you're going to find a elf centaur, a female, that is human to include the legs. The only thing that's representing a horse are the feet. They are hooves. So it's a female in the front and a female in the back. Buttocks and legs are female. The only thing that's horse are the hooves, and it has a tail. In the midsection, it's just, covered. So you're going to assume it's a horse, but you don't really see horse except for the tail. Now that's $500 or above. And frankly, that's not my definition that I know of in terms of Greek mythology as being a centaur, whether it's a male or female. We'll put a link in the description. You be the judge. I mean, I don't like what I see, and I'm not going to spend $500 for that. Regardless, it was made by Lucifer, a company called Lucifer. And, I'm sure they used artistic liberty like I often do. So I can't blame them, but it's not something I would want. I would want something more like this. But I had to fix the horse part because it was way too flat. So we painted it. My husband painted it with automotive gray primer. And that was a wonderful canvas. It took out all the scratches and sanding and smoothed everything out. So I had a wonderful canvas to do a black wash on, which I did. And I think that ties in much more effectively to the armor that she's wearing. It could maybe be a slightly more darker, but for now, I think I'm happy. I'm much happier with this version than I was with completely black. So we'll pause now, get her on a turn tray so you can see her with this horse version. All right, so we'll be right back. So just to remind you, if you didn't see that first episode with this particular Centauress, the head was up about here. and I wanted this head to be, parallel with this head. So we just kept cutting until we got the right proportion going. So we'll go around so you can see her. She fits so nicely into this horse, this generic female body that's smaller than a TB League. I don't think a TB League body would work. Plus, it has a internal steel system, and it would be a pain to try to cut that body. This is wonderful because, of course, the body comes off. But, yeah, there we go. I think the color is now much more favorable to matching her armor. If anything, maybe a little darker on the horse, but I'm so much more happier with this version because it leaves the horse less flat, more defined, that sort of thing, versus completely black. So anyway, we'll pause now and get some tighter shots from here on up. When we do retake, sometimes I forget what I've said, but in case I didn't say it, this part is Egyptian and this was gold. So we painted in silver and did a black wash on it. My husband painted in silver. I did the black wash. So this is Egyptian. The bracers and the hands are medieval. The hands were very, very silver, so I had to do a black wash on that to get it to match. And the armor and shoulder armor, the chest armor and shoulder armor, either Spartan or Roman, I'm not sure which, but even though she's a conglomerate of many different eras, she still looks good. So different eras, still looks good. It all flows together, the colors coordinate, and especially now that the horse has been repainted, I think it's going to work for me now. If anything, just a touch more darker with the horse, but even that's debatable. So, but I'm happier now. So let's go around and see her from different angles with this new horse painting. And I like that I used felt here. I just ran out of felt. You might be able to see there are a couple pieces here that complete the look, but no one's going to see the back once I get it posed in one of the closets. So this is good. All right. So I think now we can kind of get a tighter look at her face. But for me, if I'm going to have a centaur that I'm going to display, I want the centaur to be human from the torso on up and to be horse from that part down. So I wouldn't be interested in the $500 plus version of a centaur. I'd be more tempted to make it myself because I'd save a whole lot of money doing it. And I think it looks so much better than the one that you'll see in the description. But you be the judge. You may like it, the other one better. But this is my centaur. Mine has to look good to me. So anyway, we'll now pause and get a close-up of her face. We're still going to do a tight close-up of her face, but I just want to add a few more things. I had all these different pieces and they weren't really attached to anything else. So this Egyptian belt and I don't even know what to call it, loincloth, decorative loincloth thing. I had nothing else that would go with it. And then the chest armor and the shoulder armor, I had nothing else to go with it. And then the bracers and the hands from the medieval time period, I had nothing else to go with it. And so they were just lying around. And I thought, well, maybe I could combine them and just color coordinate them. And even though they're from different eras, she still might look pretty darn good. And I do think she looks pretty darn good. We don't know what time period she's from, but she looks pretty darn good. And then the felt around here kind of looks like a skirt. I think that's a nice touch and gives a little more color coordination with the elbow covers. Yeah, because she is jointed in the arm, so I didn't want you to see the joints. So I had to cover that with material. So yeah, I think she looks good. Now we can pause and get a tighter close up of her face. So we'll do just a little side to side here. There you go. I know you typically tune in to see something different every day, but this is kind of different. I mean, the color of the horse is completely changed. It merges or just lines it so much better with the armor that she has on. I think it's worth it to show it again. I'm so much happier with the color of the horse. So, and to me, it's important to correct things that I can't live with. So, anyway, I hope you've liked what you've seen. If you have, consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. In the meantime, everyone, please have a great day.